Hi, it's Amy, and we are going to be talking today about the ABCs of building a website. Now, if you already have a website or you've gone through the process of building a website before, I'll just tell you this video is going to be super basic. You might not need to watch it. However, if you are new and this is your first experience with building a website, this is going to be really important for you to be able to understand what goes into building a website and what are all of the components so that you can be very confident in talking with your web designer and understanding what all of the pieces are about. So I'm making sure I've got my screen share going here. The first thing I want to talk about is that I want you to think, we're going to use an analogy for this video, and the analogy is that you're going to build a home, okay? So you're going to build a home. There's different pieces that go into building that home. One of those is going to be the lot that you're going to build on. And so the lot is the place where this home can actually sit. And let's go through what the lot is going to be in the online. It's your hosting. So you could have a house, but you can't build a house in the air. And your hosting is what actually gives you the ability to have a place online where your website is hosted, where it's like it's on real estate. This is the lot where your website can actually be. So now let's look at what else you're going to need. The next thing that you're going to need is you're going to need floor plans for how it is, how it's constructed. Where is everything going to go? And I'm going to consider that this would be like the framing of the house. I would recommend that you use WordPress, that you build a WordPress site. The reason I recommend WordPress is because this is the easiest site right now to hire people to work on. It's also the easiest to find training videos on, and it is fairly user-friendly. So if you build your website on Joomla or a different platform, you're going to have a little bit of a hard time getting other people to be able to access it. So WordPress, I want you to consider that your hosting is the lot that you're going to build on. And what WordPress is actually the, laying the foundation, putting up the beams. You can tell I'm not a construction person, but it's just that initial construction, building something. Now, if you've ever seen a home that is just in that building phase, it still isn't really a home yet. It's a structure, and that's what WordPress is for you. So when you get WordPress and your hosting integrated together, now you have a lot and you have a rudimentary. Now, these are not the only options. So I showed you HostGator for hosting. I like HostGator because I've never had a problem with it. In 3 years, I've never had a problem. So I like HostGator, but there's Bluehost is another one. I don't recommend GoDaddy for hosting because a lot of web designers will not use it. In fact, I bought GoDaddy hosting first, and my web designer said, you have to switch or I'm not working on your site. I hate GoDaddy. And I said, okay, I'll switch. So that's what I recommend, is that you use maybe Bluehost or HostGator. They're both good. There's another one called Fat Cow. So there are a lot of different ones. They're pretty similar. I just like HostGator because I've never had a problem with it. Okay, now we've got lot. Now we've got the structure. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make it look like our house. In Utah, I lived in a neighborhood that was built by Field Homes, and you have so you buy like the 2,400 square foot house or the 3,000 square foot house or the 3,600 square foot house, and then what you do is you simply get to choose, like, I want my kitchen to go here, I want my living room to be here, I want my family room to be here, or you can switch it around. I want my kitchen here. Very limited options in terms of how it's going to look, but that's really what it does, is you take the same floor plan for multiple different people and then they make it their own, and so they choose where they want things to go and how they want them to look. And in the online world, that's actually called your theme. So your theme is going to be kind of like the layout. And I like elegantthemes.com. And what you have on here, and again, this is not the only one, but I just like, you can see they've got some good clean designs. You can just kind of see here. And what the layout is, what this is going to do is where everything is going to go. Now, I could have the exact same structure, I could have the exact same floor plan as somebody else, and our houses could still look differently. So the theme doesn't mean that you're going to choose this, let's see, it doesn't mean that you're going to choose, let's pick a theme here. Doesn't mean that you're going to choose DaVinci 2.5 and it's going to look exactly like this. It's actually going to look totally different. You could see the same theme used on 5 different houses or 5 different sites and it would look different. Just like you could take 5 different houses that all had the same layout and you could put in different paint colors and different flooring and different light fixtures and it's not going to look like the same house. So this is really your layout. So let's back up again. We've got the lot is your web hosting. Then we've got the WordPress. And then we've got the theme, which is what's going to allow your layout to be where you want it to go. Now beyond the layout, when we get into decor, that's where you're looking at pictures and colors and fonts. All of those are going to bring in the home decor of your website to make it really feel like yours and look inviting and warm. That's going to come in again through pictures, fonts, and color section. Now the last part of this, you could build a house and you could have a house, and if that house doesn't have a registered address, nobody can find that house or actually connect with you. And so that is our domain name. The domain name is what actually gives us our www. I do buy all my domain names on GoDaddy. I don't know why I started using GoDaddy, but I do, and I like it, and I buy all of them from the same place, so I have less accounts to manage. I do own a lot of GoDaddy domain names, and so this is basically your address. This is how people find you. Now, in terms of the order you should go in building your website, I actually recommend that you get the address first, because you could have the most beautiful website designed with the most perfect name and the best logo, and then if you go and find out that name is already taken, it's going to be very disappointing. So this is actually your first stop, your domain name. Okay, so that is a very simple ABC basic introduction to the different parts of a website. I wanted to share this with you because I actually see a lot of people get very confused. Well, I don't understand. Why do I need a domain name and hosting? Well, what's this theme? What's the WordPress? And they're not sure what each part functions as. So we're just going to remember our house analogy. You have to have a lot. That's your hosting. You have to have a structure, a basic structure. That is your WordPress. Then you need to have the layout of where everything's going to go. That's your theme. Then you're going to customize it with design elements like your pictures, your colors, your fonts. And then you need to be able to have it have an address so people can actually find it and connect to it. All right, there you go. You have the ABCs of web design. Thanks, guys.